Aloha friends and welcome back to Dive Vibe. Today we're talking about how to shoot video underwater when you already spent your stimmy on a DPV. So you're looking for an underwater camera, but you also need to buy other things like food, nitrox, and beer.
No beer today? No.
If you're currently budgeting for a Red Weapon or a Sony Alpha 1, this video is not for you. Move along. These cameras are for the people. If you're familiar with the law of diminishing returns, you know that spending more doesn't necessarily mean that you'll get performance that equates to how much you spent. A $400 camera is likely twice as good as a $200 camera. A $4,000 camera is certainly better than a $2,000 camera, but is it twice as good? Is it $2,000 better? No. This is the law of diminishing returns.
Search your feelings, you know it to be true.
I try to find myself at the intersection between cost and performance whenever possible. As I see it, you've got a couple of options, and in this video, we're going to cover option 1, action cameras. When it comes to action cameras, my choice is the GoPro HERO 8. That's right, I said HERO 8. We're doing this cheap, so last year's model it is. This baby shoots 4K at 60 frames per second and 1080p at a blistering 240 frames per second. And with Hypersmooth 2.0, you've got crazy technology that you can stick in your back pocket. Look at that sexy crack in the lens protector. Hell yeah. As long as you're using settings that are conducive to underwater video, it's going to be a pretty effortless experience. It's pretty much point and click. The compact nature of the camera means I'm more likely to take it, especially on dives where I'm dealing with multiple tanks and a scooter. The best camera you have is the one that you actually take diving. I know what you're thinking, GoPro, underwater, duh. But did you know they make aftermarket housing so you can take this thing deeper than 500 feet? Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Also, Hypersmooth 2.0 is game-changing for creating cinematic-looking footage underwater. If your hands are even moderately steady, then your footage is going to look smooth and awesome, which is great, because you can't take a gimbal underwater. However, there's some limitations, and it's important to work within those. GoPros work best with plenty of light. As soon as you start going deeper, you're going to want to start color correcting, and there's 2 ways to do that. The first is in your software. You can do a lot to fix your video on Premiere or Final Cut, or you could check out the free version of DaVinci Resolve if you don't want to spend any money. Color grading your video and maybe even using LUTs is worth learning how to do, especially when you're working on a budget. The second way you can color correct is by bringing video lights with you underwater. This is the most effective way to fix the color in your video because there's only so much you can do without lights. And even with video lights, you're still going to want to color grade your footage in your editing software. You greatly improve your footage with a video light or two, and if you don't want to have it attached to your camera, you can always carry it around with you and clip it off when you're not using it. That's how I got this shot. The bad news is underwater video lights are expensive. The good news is they're always useful, even if you upgrade your camera. Speaking of upgrades, once you start to get footage that you like, you may find that you want more control over what you're recording. This is the biggest shortcoming of the GoPro and the #1 reason to check out my next video where I'll be diving into more advanced cameras for underwater video. So if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon so you get notified when that video comes out. If you got something out of this video, hit the like button. It really helps me out a lot. Leave a comment with any questions you have or let me know what kind of videos you'd like to see in the future. And if you're interested in more informational diving videos, I've got a series on deco planning on my Patreon. There's a link in the description if you'd like to check that out. Thanks for diving with me today. I really appreciate you stopping by, and I'll see you in the water.